Welcome back to All This Math. This is Professor Parker, and for this lesson, we're going to get into some more paycheck math. We're going to calculate the annual salary when we're given some information about paychecks, about some paychecks that are received during the year. Before we get into that, I definitely want to give a shout out to the ancestor, Nat Turner, well known for his famous slave rebellion, which took place in the year 1831 near Southampton, Virginia. If you're not familiar with Nat Turner, please go do your research. Go find information on Nat Turner and his famous slave rebellion, which took place in August 23rd, 1831. All right. Now, on to the paycheck math. Now, the actual problem that we're going to cover today is actually written in the description underneath of this video. And the problem reads like this. It says to find the annual salary when a person gets paid $995 semi-monthly. Semi-monthly. Now, you might not be familiar with the term semi-monthly. Maybe you never heard of that before. Semi is the prefix that means half, right? So when we say semi-monthly, we assume that we're like cutting a month in half. So what it actually means and the way it translates is, and how it's actually utilized, that term, it means that something happens twice per month. So twice per month. So it doesn't. So let me say this though, because many people will get it confused and they think that that means that it happens every 2 weeks. Nah, that's not necessarily true, because every month doesn't have exactly 4 weeks. Actually, most months don't have exactly 4 weeks, right? So let me first write this information down, because you should write down on your paper that the person gets paid $995 semi-monthly, right? So that means they're getting paid twice a month. They might get paid on the 1st and the 15th. They might get paid on the 15th and the 30th. They might get paid on the 15th, and then on the last day of the month, because if it's February, the last day of the month is going to be the 28th. Unless it's a leap year, then the last day of the month is going to be the 29th, right? That's semi-monthly. Don't get it confused with bi-weekly. Bi-weekly means every 2 weeks, right? Now, think about this. This is why this matters. Because if you think about a year has 12 months in it, right? A year also has 52 weeks in it. If every month had 4 weeks in it, right? Because that's what a lot of people think. A lot of people, months have approximately 4 weeks in them, but every month does not have exactly 4 weeks in it, right? So make sure you understand this, because you can get taken advantage of if you don't understand this concept. In a year, there are 52 weeks, but if you believe that there are exactly 4 weeks in every month, then that would mean that there are 48 weeks in a year, because there are 12 months in a year. And if you believe that every month has 4 weeks in it, then you would do 12 times 4 or 4 times 12 in order to arrive at the total amount of weeks in a year, which would give you 48. But we already know and we understand that there are 52 weeks in a year based on the calendar that we use in the West, right? So when we think about there's a difference between bi-weekly and also semi-monthly, which is why it's possible. That's why we have if you get paid bi-weekly, there are certain months where you'll get 3 paychecks in the same month, right? Depending upon when you got the first paycheck and depending upon how many weeks there are, or how many days there are in that month. So if you're doing semi-monthly, it's impossible to get 3 paychecks, because by definition, semi-monthly means you're getting 2 paychecks that month. You're being paid semi-monthly, meaning you're being paid twice that month. But if you're getting paid bi-weekly throughout the year, in most months, you're only going to get 2 paychecks. But it's going to be a couple months, 1, maybe 2, where you're going to get 3 paychecks. All right? So just keep that in mind. All right. So this person is making $995 semi-monthly. Now, we want to find the annual salary. So the first thing I think we should do is figure out how many paychecks is that? How many paychecks is that? Right? So let's do that. Write that on your paper. How many paychecks? So if they're getting paid twice a month, and we accept the fact that there are 12 months in a year, then we would just need to do 2 times 12, right? Because there are 2 paychecks in 1 month, but we're dealing with 12 months total. So 2 times 12 is 24. So that means we're getting 24 paychecks. So this person is getting 24 paychecks. So if we want to find the annual salary, meaning the total amount of money they make in a year, they're getting this much money 24 times. This much money, 24 times. This much money, 24 times. 24 times, they're getting this much money. So now we're going to do multiplication. We're going to do 995 times 24. Now, if I break out my calculator and I do 995 times 24, I get $23,880. Boom. That's why I use the calculator. But if I want to do this manually and write it out on the board for you, or write it on my paper, and I use the what we call the standard algorithm, meaning the way I learned how to multiply like 40 years ago, right? We're going to do it like this. We take the number with the more digits. This has 3, this has 2. Take the number with more digits, put that on top. 995, number with less digits, put that on the bottom. Now, we don't line them up according to place value. You just line them up as far to the right as possible. So 995 and then 24, right? Even if this, I guess it does end up being according to place value, but that's a coincidence. It doesn't have to be like that. Like if this was a decimal, 995.26, the 24 would still be under the decimal part, right? Because when you're doing multiplication using this method, you don't have to line the numbers up according to place value. All right, now, watch me work. 4 times 5 is 20. Put the 0 right there, carry the 2. 4 times 9 is 36. Add the 2, you get 38. Put the 8, carry the 3. 4 times 9 is 36. Add the 3, 39. Notice how I understand and I know my multiplication facts by heart. That makes this easy. If you don't know your multiplication facts by heart, that makes this difficult. So math is not difficult, but it is difficult. It's not difficult generally, I should say, but it will be difficult if you don't have certain things memorized. If you don't know your multiplication facts, then it's going to be real hard. I'm going to just tell you straight up. So do yourself a favor, memorize the multiplication facts. Once you memorize the multiplication facts, then a whole lot of math gets a whole lot easier. I promise you. All right, so now I'm about to multiply 2 by everything. I'm going to put a box right here just to remind myself that I don't put anything in this space right here. Do the place value considerations, right? I do 2 times 5, that's 10. Put the 0 right here. I'm going to cross that out. Put the 1. 2 times 9 is 18. Plus 1, 19. Put the 9 right here. Carry the 1. 2 times 9, 18. Plus 1, 19 again. Boom. Then I'm going to add these two products together to get my total product. 0 and 0, because this is treated like a 0. 8 plus 0 is 8. 9 plus 9 is 18. Carry the 1. 1 plus 3 is 4. 4 plus 9 is 3. 13, carry the 1. That's 2. And we get 23,880. These are both whole numbers, no decimals, so I don't got to worry about putting a decimal point in my answer nowhere. I go from the right, 3 spaces, and I put a comma, 23,880. So notice I got the same thing. It's good to do your problems more than one way so you can kind of like check your answer. It's like a system of checks and balances, system of checks and balances. You probably learned about that in government class or, U.S. history or civics or something, right? So yeah, the same thing applies in math. System of checks and balances. All right, do your problem more than one way. Make sure you get the same answer. If you don't get the same answer, you gotta, do some investigation, find out where the mistake is. All right, so that's that. Understand the term semi-monthly. Semi-monthly means you get it twice a month. Semi-monthly, twice a month. Maybe the 1st and the 15th. Maybe the 15th and the 30th. Maybe the 15th and the last day of the month. Who knows? Maybe the 5th and the 25th. Who knows? It's up to the discretion of that company that you might be working for. All right. And that is some more Paycheck Math. Practice these types of problems. Go find some practice online and practice them. And again, shout out to Nat Turner. Shout out to Black August. Shout out to all the brothers and sisters that participated in the slave rebellions and back in the 19th century because they was trying to get free. All right. I'll catch up with you on the next video. Peace.